Hello, and welcome to Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Think of this as a two-in-one game. One side is the horror, and the other side is more the action. Now in the past, the series has been heavily criticised for not knowing what it is, but this time around they've done both, split 50-50 down the middle, and I'll tell you something now, they've done this to perfection. Now the first playable character is Grace. She does the horror part of the game. And the second main character is Leon. He's more of a Jason Bourne type character and does the action parts of the game. The villain this time round is called Victor Gideon, who reminds me a lot of the bad guy from Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill, with his night vision goggles and his luscious long hair. Now I'm going to split this video into two parts because they play wildly different. And first up we have... Just for the record, that's not her surname, I'm crap at editing. Now Grace works for the FBI, but instead of being the strong type, she's more shy and timid if anything. And I do not know how she passed exams to become an FBI agent, but you know what? Kudos to her for doing it. You'll notice this a lot more in the cutscenes where she starts to stammer and stutter her words, and she always looks down when she's talking to someone. However, fair play to her as this is her first time seeing zombies. But not only that, the amount of stuff she goes through is actually shocking for any human being. If it's true what they say that, stuff like this brings out character development, after this game I expect her to act like Albert Wesker in his prime in RE5 dodging bullets. But long story short, she gets sent on a mission to investigate bodies, where previously her mum passed away, and fair play to her for accepting it. And when I say this game has horror, I mean it completely blows the RE7 out of the water. Now the first main difference is that Grace's gameplay is in first person, and it heightens the sense of horror in the game. Now Grace's gameplay can also be played in third person, so say for instance you want to play horror games but horror kind of scares you too much. It's actually quite nice to have this option because it lessens the tension. Now when it comes to gunplay, if you hold the aim button down long enough, you can possibly get a critical shot as the cursor moves in closer. This happens to both Grace and Leon. However, when you stun the zombie, Grace can only push them away. Then you add the fact that she has two melee weapons, two pistols, a revolver which is hands down one of the best ever in any game. You do get a submachine gun, but you have to unlock it later with points and credits, along with a limited supply of ammo, and you start to see why she is the survival part of the game. You can also aim around corners in first person mode, and when it comes to gameplay there's not much point in doing this, but a cool feature nonetheless. And to make things more difficult when deciding which one of the two pistols you like to carry, it's a small inventory, and this is as big as it gets. A nice warm welcome return is the storage box. There's not many in the areas, but it does the same thing as previous Resident Evils. Store whatever items you want, and pick up another box somewhere else. You also see the return of the typewriter and the ink ribbons. However, this only happens on normal or hard difficulty. On easier mode, you don't need any ink ribbons at all, so you can save as many times as you want. Another return is the antique coins, which only appears in Grace's story. This will help you buy upgrades like max health, max damage, and get more items in your inventory. However, this is mainly for the first part of the mission, and once you're done, there's no point in keeping them anymore. You can also craft items in the game, but first you need to pick up this thing, which is a blood collector, and it collects blood. So, yeah. Not only can you collect blood from little buckets, you can also collect it from fallen enemies, or if you can find a blood pouch, you can take it from there, because, fuck hygiene. Now if you look at the second column on the left, and second row from the top, you'll see the blood collector, and it has its limits. You can also upgrade it to be able to craft more items. To help with crafting, you'll find scraps. This can be found in boxes or vases that you can smash up. You can combine items on the spot, which is nice, because scrap doesn't stack, which means one scrap takes up one inventory slot. On a side note, when it comes to herbs, there's only green. No red, no yellow, no blue. You can also lockpick, which luckily enough, always guarantees you something, unlike the random boxes you can open which gives you nothing throughout the game. To help you craft stuff throughout the game, you can find recipes like this. Others require a little puzzle first before you obtain it. Once you have all these items, you can start crafting, and crafting is very easy. It tells you what you can and can't do, and what you actually need. Now, it wouldn't be a Resident Evil game without puzzles or backtracking, and in Grace's gameplay, this happens a lot. Leon has a bit of backtracking, but not as bad as Grace. In fact, you can open shortcuts, and the puzzles are nice and short and sweet. Overall though, when it comes to Grace's part of the game, it was fun. I did want to keep on playing to see what happens next. It's scary, it's cinematic, it's a nice change of pace from Leon's bit, but I was shocked at this. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much. It's way better than Resident Evil 7 and 8. And next up we have, although weirdly no sign of Ada Wong as of yet. Now at this point, Leon is a veteran when it comes to dealing with zombies. He sent out on a mission to investigate another T-virus outbreak. Well, ish. And I'm going to be honest with you, this kind of T-virus that they mention is a bit, kind of cheap. I mean, you could let it slide because we did get a good game out of it, but the real killer is the fact you can't blow up his Porsche, because, you know, fuck SUVs. You'll be glad to know that Leon hasn't changed at all. He still has his one-liners, will make remarks when it's not necessary, and aura farm. For instance, take this scene here, where he can tell it's a zombie with a chainsaw, but you know what? Let's take 5 business days before we help her out. Now you'll notice when it comes to Leon's gameplay, it's in third person. You can switch to a first person perspective, but the moves just look too cool. And when you stun a zombie, you can roundhouse kick them. Sometimes there's an option to press the R2 button where you use your axe as an execution, so you can cut their head off. Other times, if they're close to a wall, Leon will kick their head in towards it. Another type of execution is the weapons. If they're slightly injured and they get close to you, press R2, and this happens. Although, be careful of the spinning chainsaw, you can't pick it up, but the undead happily will. Now Leon also has 2 melee weapons in the form of axes, and just like Grace, when you get attacked by a zombie, you press R2 and you will attack the zombie. However, with Grace, the knife will stay in the zombie and you have to kill that zombie to get it back. With Leon, he keeps it permanently, and when it comes to durability, with a quick press of L1 and square, he just resharpens it, and back to work again. One nice little attention to detail is that when you visit areas that Grace has previously been in, any zombies you left or any items, Leon can pick up. Just a nice touch I thought I'd add. Now whereas Grace has a lot picks, with Leon you use your axe and just pure brute force. You also get a close-up of his tight t-shirt, which is tighter than your sphincter when playing as Grace. Now this is the part where the game changes. For instance, there's no storage box. In fact, it's more of a shop. And to get points, you get it by killing enemies. Kind of like mercenaries mode more than anything. Now in this shop, you can buy weapons, you can enhance them, upgrade them, or you can flat out sell them if you want. And if you want something a bit more exotic like an assault rifle or a rocket launcher, you're going to have to unlock that in the game and part of the bonus content section. Now when it comes to crafting, Leon's is a lot easier. You just need scraps or gunpowder, and if you take a look at the size of his inventory, this becomes no issue at all. Overall, I did enjoy his section of the game, even though there's one point where it does dip into Resident Evil 5's level of bullshit. But it's a nice break from Grace's gameplay, and I did find it quite fun. Like most horror games, you still have your collectibles in the form of raccoons, but you also get files which tell you the history about Raccoon City. Take this file here for instance. It shows how much a bioweapon costs, for instance the Tyrants or the Lickers. And it's not much, but I found it very interesting. There are also a number of Easter eggs in the game, and a few callbacks to previous generation games, for instance, like this picture here. Now when it comes to difficulty, the game's not that hard. However, once you complete the game, you unlock Insanity mode, and this is where it gets fucked up. So for instance, items are moved around, you get more antique coins if anything, and take this set piece for example. Usually just shoot the driver, But now you actually have to blow up the digger as well.
Give me a fucking break.
Now for the bad parts of the game, which there aren't any. In fact, maybe this bit, because it reminds me of Alan Wake with the little intro and the white writing. Yeah, fuck Alan Wake. I mean, you could say this visual glitch here when you modify your gun where the strap just looks elongated, shall we say? But even then, I mean, it doesn't break the game. It's just visually. And it is quite funny if you think about it. One thing I would say that's quite annoying is the death scenes, or should I say the death animations. They go on a bit too long. Now when it comes to platinum in this game, it's very simple. There's about 3 playthroughs, maybe 1 cleanup if you need it, all in about 35 hours. And you do have to speedrun it unfortunately, and you do have to claim insanity, but Infinity Ammo will solve that problem. Now would I recommend this game? Fuck yeah, buy it instantly, it's worth every penny. In fact, I'd probably say it's top 5 Resident Evil of all time, and possibly top 5 game of 2026. Not only is the gameplay amazing, but the sound too, and the lighting effects and the graphics are out of this world. Yeah, the story may be a bit lackluster. I mean, this new Raccoon City kind of syndrome with the whole T-Virus thing is a bit, yeah. But you know what, I'm gonna forgive it for that. And you should buy this game instantly. Now, if they could just remake Code Veronica, you know, not like we're not asking for anything, you know, that would be quite great. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!